Wow, that was a nice, traveling from one dimension to another. This is really exciting, especially if you know where you're at. The last time where you went from. Okay, today's date is the 25th, 1st, 2020. It's now 7:13 p.m. Today is Saturday, and I went, after getting up, getting up is a good thing. I didn't sleep at all, so I got up at 4:30 a.m. and I was working on my problems here for 5.5 hours, and then eventually people, in the family start getting up, and I had to do something, this was a special day. And today is also a foggy day, like maybe the chemtrails, they were spraying the same stuff like over China, so next is Germany, Nuremberg is next, I hope so. I hope so for me, and I hope I get this lung disease, and I hope it's going to be very quick, the end, Otherwise, don't, or just heal me, So I went there to like an emergency, but it's not an emergency, to the hospital. They have the special things like on Saturday that people can go to, because a lot of people go to emergencies to the hospital and they have a little cut and so on, and they're almost dying because of that, and they go into the emergency. And those people in emergency, in the hospital, they have other things to do than to have people, with this kind of problem to come to them. So they've built a new one not far from where I live, because normally I would go very, very far. So did I mention today is the 25th, 1st, 2020? Yes, I did. It's 7:15 p.m. Okay. And I was talking about this stuff, There I had to only wait 2 hours, because normally I wait if I go to the hospital. And because of that, before they had that, I waited 4 hours, So it's quite frustrating, And eventually it got into me, got to me, eventually the right side. And there was a moment shortly before the doctor called me, to just go into it. Oh God, and in this moment he calls me to come in, I didn't want to go, because at this moment I just want to finish off my job, and then I explained to him, he was the first doctor who actually examined me that way. Well, which means looking at the head and everything, where I got the problem, and I was telling them, I told him about this this YouTube channel here, here this is my YouTube channel, but they're not interested in it. They just want the facts, and those facts were, I printed it out my YouTube channel, and showing all the pictures on it, about where I'm pressing out this stuff, those eggs and so on, and on my playlist, the title, having a big picture with those 2 fingers and those eggs on it. I showed him that, look, these are my fingers and these are my eggs, and here are my tweezers, holding a lot of these eggs. And he didn't wanna believe me, There goes the next dermatosen, what's it called, delusional, this is really frustrating, But he asked me, what did your doctor do? My physician, my home family physician. I said, well, he prescribed me this kind of antibiotica. Some other one prescribed me antihistamine. That means when you get this itchiness, you take these. But this other doctor told me, which was also on a Saturday, I'm talking a little bit fast, that I'm supposed to take that only once in a while, because, whatever, And he said, and it also makes one tired, which is a good thing, because I have sleeping problems, like I sleep at 20 minutes and I get up. Either I have a cough, a cramp, or I'm waking up because something is wettening there, And that's why I got up this morning at 4:30 a.m. Because it will get wet here again. And here I've washed this. I just went to the store to get some stuff for the computer, and I washed this off, cleaning it off, drying it off. Everything was dry and perfect. This is oozing out again, like this never stops. And I told him that this stuff is perfect. It's like a special glue, and it doesn't stop like glue, like what's it called, like blood does, Like I said, with blood you do Reiki, and it immediately stops, It clogs up the blood, and that's it. This stuff doesn't care, It's like Morgalians don't care, So he also prescribed me another antibiotic. He asked me like it has antibiotic. This one says has penicillin inside, which is actually I would say the same thing under a different name or whatever. But these pills, these antibiotics, also these with penicillin in it, those are like about this size. Like this is the half of it. There's okay a bit longer. That's one capsule. That's one pill. And I'm taking 2 of them a day, and additionally I may take the other one for the night, so I get sleepy and then sleep. And this is against itchiness. But that antibiotica, the stuff that my home physician was giving me, those pills weren't that big. They were a little small, like ridiculous, and only once a day. So maybe he doesn't want me to heal, because this is the kind of type. Interestingly, with this prescription, there were only 10 of them. I didn't have to pay anything, like no €5. I don't know why. Maybe it's because the health care system, they have some kind of deal with the pharma industry for this kind of drug. So sometimes it is like that 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 we don't get charged for it. What else was new? I'm going to He asked me. There was nothing else. There were just pills. They were prescribing me. That's it. So he asked me, how long do I have this? Well, actually, this itchiness, this whole thing, and this other stuff, like I have this stuff on the other finger here. It's like he saw that also, he saw that stuff there, and he asked me like if I came because of this, and what that is. I told him that is also a problem. That is also causing itchiness, and it causes blisters that I crunch open. He was kind of surprised, So he asked me if I ever went to a dermatologist. I said, yeah, 9 of them already, and each of them told me something different. And yes, they prescribed me creams, cortisone, and some other pills that made me get my feet swollen. That's it, and nothing happened. It didn't change anything. Nobody really took a time to take a closer look. Or if they did, then they were so stupid, doing it so stupidly, or doing their magnifying glass, with putting in what's it called, disinfectant on it. I went to this dermatologist. That was number 8. I have that in playlist number 1 or 2. Where I'm really mad at her. I think I did it on in German. I think I did it. I think I did it in German. I don't know. And there were some other parts with like 5 parts of them. But those ones I was swearing there, like I took them out because, otherwise someone may kick me out of here. But, a lot of bullshit happened there, and this delusional stuff happened there, like putting disinfectant on her magnifying glass, and then here I have a fresh wound. I told her this wound is only 2 or 3 hours old. And she puts it and glides over it on purpose, this stupid, Instead of, suddenly I felt this kind of burning sensation. It felt like somebody was using a scalpel going over there. I thought maybe that the magnifying glass, because it has a light in it, I thought that thing was heated up. Because, it was so hot, it felt, and I said, ow! And she said, well, excuse me, but, there's some other people coming here as well, and I have to disinfect this stuff, before I take the next patient. So I told her, because she's so smart, I told her, why don't you, when you've disinfected it, how long was it ago, and when you've disinfected it, and now it's my turn, you should take off that disinfection, because I saw you putting on disinfectant. She knows exactly what is happening when you take disinfectant on fresh wounds. Does she really think that I'm so stupid? Some of those dermatologist women, they're so fucked up in their head. This is horrible. This is this naivety, this arrogance, this is, I don't know where they are learning this, but I think she only did this just to get rid of me. But this isn't fair. When a person needs help, you're supposed to help them, But if you don't like them, then quit a job and get a job somewhere else, And then she had a tweezer. This tweezer was such a cheap metal, you could poke yourself with it. Nothing would happen, She was pretending to be stupid. I don't know, I don't have any words for it. She took a sample of that area, which was very fresh, because I crunched it open. You're not gonna find anything on it there. You know, just like with the number 9, the biopsy, you know, this was itching like crazy. The super bug they found on it, it was only for the skin. Yes, only the skin had that super bug. You know, the rest of your body, oh, you have delusional shit, you know? Fuck you, bitch. You know, and the tweezer, you know, how she pretended to take, as if she's going to faint now, you know. I said, give me that tweezer, you know. And I was so frustrated, and I was taking the tweezer, you know. It was like a really piece of shit metal, you know. Shit, not sheet metal, but it was shit metal, you know. Those guys should buy yourself a real good tweezer. Like I have these things, you know, like those ones you can, I don't know, you can stab wood with it, you know. And then I took it off. I took off fragments, you know, and it was bleeding, you know, and it was hurting, you know. But you know what?